guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Sunny. So for today, what I'm going to do is I'll be filming my favorite reads last April. I guess you've noticed na I didn't upload a monthly wrap-up last April and May. The reason why is because I got busy and I got lazy. Also, I didn't know kung paano ko sisimulan yung wrap-up video for April because that's the most that I've read this year, 20 books. I've read 20 books last April. So, hindi ko alam kung paano siya sisimulan. So, I thought of this, just doing or just filming my favorite reads last April. So, I'll be telling you my favorite reads from last April and my thoughts about those books. So if you want to know my favorite reads last April and my thoughts about those books, some of these books, let's hop into the video. So last April I was proud of myself super kasi that's the most that I've read nga this year and most that I've read after experiencing a reading slump. And also I am proud of myself because I got to read different genres. So I was able to read fantasy, mystery, suspense, romance, and others. So, to start off, I guess I will start off with the genre of contemporary romance. I was able to read this 4+1 because the one I read an ebook and listened to it. It's called baka kasi makalimutan ko kasi meron akong 3 books na binasa and pinakinggan ko lang. Wala pa ako ng actual copy. So, Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Also, the author of this, The Honeymooners. So, out of all the 5 books that I've read in this genre, romance, contemporary fiction, my most favorite out of the 5 books that I've read in this genre is Love and Other Words, the one that I read in ebook and listened to in audiobook. Love and Other Words, and also Starry Eyes and I See London, I See France. So, itong Permanent Record and Honeymooners. So, mga sasabihin kong favorite reads is yung mga books, new books that I've read. Kasi meron akong mga nabasa dito in my April. Meron ako nabasa last April na reread. So, what I'm going to be mentioning sa mga favorite reads ko is yung mga new books that I've read. So, gusto ko din tong Honeymooners but I will not include it in my favorite reads last April. So, for this genre, romance, kind of like there's adventure to it, contemporary, I'd say Starry Eyes, I See London, I See France, and Love and Other Words. So I guess, kasi baka makalimutan ko, I'll start off with Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Since I liked the book of, this is the very first book, The Honeymooners is the very first book that I've read from Christina Lauren, and it is recommended by Andy, and I like the story. I wanted to try out her other books and nakita ko sa post ng other bookworms na nagustuhan niya yung Love and Other Words. So I tried it out even though wala pa ako ng actual copy. I tried it in ebook and audiobook. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Love and Other Words. It's story about friendship, love, kind of like mending some broken relationship because Macy and Elliot didn't have any connection with each other for 11 years. So they didn't talk to each other for 11 years. And so it's mending up a relationship. I enjoyed the story of Macy and Elliot. So I love Elliot, and where can I find a guy like him? So dito kasi sa Love in Other Words, it's past and present sa book or sa audiobook. So, past and then what happened to the, present, what happened in the past, and then present again, what happened in the past. So, ganun yung storyline niya. I love the connection between Elliot and Macy, especially silang dalawa, parehas silang mahilig sa books. So, yun yung bonding nila together. So, it's also the kind of trope. It's also the best friend to lovers kind of trope. Also, best friend to lovers to enemies and then to lovers again, I guess. So, yun. And, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Wala na akong masasabi because I really enjoyed it. Yung character development, nakita ko din and maganda siya. Since, like, I enjoyed Christina Lawrence, The Honeymooners, and then Love in Other Words, I am planning to read more of her works. Since na-enjoy ko ngayon dalawang books na binabasa ko sa kanya, hindi pa ako na-disappoint or anything. So, I can't wait to read more of her books. And I would rate this book, nakalista, kasi baka magkamali ako ng sabi sa inyo. Ano ba ratings ko sa Love in Other Words? I rated it 4.5. 4.5, I love the story, the book, pero meron kasi akong konting issue regarding this. So, hindi ko siya 5 out of 5, although I loved it. Kasi may konting issue lang ako dun sa story and sa character, I guess. Yun. So, sunod naman is Starry Eyes. So, ito, parang parehas sila. Not really, pero may similarity, adventure. There's an adventure to it, pero different adventure. Starry Eyes and I See London, I See France. So, pagka-adventure nito is adventure traveling into another country. While here, Starry Eyes is adventure in the wilderness, I guess. Adventure in the environment, hiking, camping, and everything. So, I'll start with Starry Eyes. So, I bought this in Big Bad Wolf books last February. So, nung binili ko to, madami pang books ni Jen Bennett ang nandun. Pero tiningnan ko nga kung ano yung may pinakamataas na ratings, and ito yung may pinakamataas na ratings. And it didn't disappoint. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed everything. It tackles with family, love, friendship. There's a trope here again, the best friends to enemies trope. And so I enjoyed how the characters mended their relationship. And I loved the adventure in it kasi it took me to something that I haven't tried before. Like, I've tried camping, but not the real camping, like hiking, pupunta sa bundok and everything, and just using the resources there. So, I really enjoyed the book. It took me to something that I haven't tried before. I just have not an issue. There's a scene here that I didn't like. There's a certain scene here. It involves friends that it made me think that I kind of like got disappointed with the character here. It got me thinking na no matter how angry I am with the friend, I wouldn't do that to my friend. I mean, huwag tayong magsalita ng tapos, pero knowing myself, I wouldn't do that to my friend. The scene that happened here, I wouldn't do that to my friend, no matter how angry I am. So, yun. And I will rate this book. I rated this book, Starry Eyes. I rated this 4.6 out of 5. Now, sunod naman is I See London, I See France. I also enjoyed this book because I miss traveling to another country, and Europe is one of the countries that I would like to visit soon, and I love traveling. Me and my family loves to travel, so na-enjoy ko din yung book na to. The adventure here of going to another country, visiting other places na ikaw lang mag-isa or with your friend. That's one thing that I want to try. Na yes, we travel, but I'd like to travel na ako lang or friend ko lang. No offense, mommy and papa, pero it's just something in my bucket list that I'd like to try. Yun. So, I really enjoyed this book, the adventure in it and traveling. One thing here is medyo kind of, since Europe, it's known to be liberated. I mean, yeah. I got surprised with some of the scenes here kasi, well, like, I was shocked with some of the scenes here kasi nga, I mean, I guess you get my point, liberated. So, Europe, and yeah, I'm speechless. Okay. Natawa kasi ako nung time na nabasa ko yung certain scene here, and I guess that's expected for a country like Europe. And siguro what's written here is nangyayari talaga in real life. So, yeah. So, Europe is one of the places na gusto kong puntahan, and I enjoyed it because I got to travel in it, like, not personally, but in my imagination by reading this book. And mixed reviews to, pero I enjoyed it. And I hope you try it soon. Magbabasa pa ako. Plano ko magbasa pa ng book ni Sarah. How do you pronounce her last name? Minosky, whatever. Also, by the way, this is kind of like a summer love story. So, yeah. So that's for the romance, contemporary, adventure genre. Now for the mystery suspense is this 4 books plus 1 kasi nabasa ko din yung Hand on the Wall. Last book sa Truly Devious. So, ang nabasa ko is I Let You Go, Two Can Keep a Secret, and then yung Truly Devious, and then The Vanishing Stair, and then Hand on the Wall. And I don't know. My favorite out of the 5 books, I guess I'd say that for suspense mystery is this surprised me because, oh, by the way, did I mention yung ratings ko sa I See London, I See Friends? Ang ratings ko dun is also 4.6. At par lang siya with Starry Eyes. So I Let You Go. I got surprised with this book. This is also nabili ko sa Big Bad Wolf. Madami din books doon ni Claire McIntosh, and ito nga yung may pinakamataas na ratings. Mixed reviews siya. I was nervous before starting this book kasi super mixed reviews yung iba. Sabi nila, I don't know what's special in this book, why it's hype, or why others are rating it 5 out of 5 and everything. Pero I guess it depends for every other person nga, the way you read it. Pero this book, I rated this 4.5 out of 5, and I love this book because it surprised me, like, big time. Problema ko nga lang dito, I guess normal for other books na medyo slow siya and kind of dragging at the first part. So may part 1 and part 2 dito. Pero when you get to that particular scene, nung binasa ko, bumalik ako sa pinakaunang page just to check kung tama ba yung binabasa ko. Kasi it really shocked me. I got shocked while reading this book, and I'd say Clara McIntosh, you're a genius. I will not mention, hindi ko na elaborate kasi pwede ko kasi kayo ma-spoil, and maganda na yung mabasa niyo to, then ma-shock din kayo. I don't know, maybe kasi why didn't I think of that? I mean, ako mismo nung binabasa ko siya, iniisip ko, ba't hindi ko yung naisip? Pero, yep, you're a genius, Claire McIntosh, for surprising me like that, surprising us readers, yung mga naloko mong readers. So, yeah, this is a 4.5 out of 5 for me for a mystery suspense thriller. Now, for the next book. So, hindi ko kasi alam kung ano yung gagawin kong favorite reads dito. Pero, to can keep a secret, dalawa na yung nabasa ko by Karen M. McManus. And nabasa ko din yung One of Us is Lying. And I'd say na mas gusto ko to kaysa sa One of Us is Lying. Kasi, na-predict ko yung nangyari sa One of Us is Lying. And dito, I didn't expect. I took down notes. I had a lot of notes. Nandito yon, pero hindi ko napapakita. I had a lot of notes like, paano ka mako-connect? Sino yung ganito? By suspects and everything. Pero sa lahat ng, like, meron akong, like, top 3 suspects ko. Wala dun sa sinulat ko. So, I got surprised with this. Pero, surprised but not. Does that make sense? Pero, yeah, I enjoyed this. And, medyo na underwhelmed ako sa Truly Devious because may kind of similarity. Yung nangyari dito is nangyari din dito. So, parang na-underwhelmed na ako. Parang yung expectations ko or yung ratings ko dito sa Truly Devious parang bumaba kasi nga parang expected ko na. And parang ganun, naintindihan nyo ba ako? So, yun. And, for Two Can Keep a Secret, I rated this 4 out of 5. And, yeah. I guess, yung books ni Karen M. McManus is a good read for people who's starting to read mystery, suspense, genre. I'd recommend it, I guess, for first-time readers of that genre. But also, I will recommend Truly Devious sa mga first-time readers of the mystery, suspense, thriller genre. It's a good book for starters of that kind of genre. Wala dito yung hand on the wall kasi wala pang akong copy. I will not deny the fact na this is a great trilogy and everything. The storyline is great. And yung pagkaka-connect ng mga events and yung everything, kasi it's kind of like a maze in this story. It's great. It's a great story. But even though it's a great story for me, parang kasing habang binabasa ko may kulang. Hindi ko alam kung bakit, pero I enjoyed the story. It's a great story for me. I would definitely recommend it. Pero may kulang. Yun yung inisip ko, may kulang siya or something. Na, out of all the 3 books, ang pinaka nagustuhan ko is Hand on the Wall. So, yun. I rated this books for the trilogy. For Truly Devious, I rated it 3.8. And for The Vanishing Stair, 4.1. And for The Hand on the Wall, 4.4. So, yep. So that is for the mystery, suspense, thriller genre. Now for the fantasy books, I also read Imagine Me by the last book in the Shatter Me series by Tahara Mafi. And I love Shatter Me series. I just love the series. But no, I got disappointed with the last book. So, parang guys, parang nagma-mention na din ako ng like most of my reads last April. Pero, wait lang. Out of all the fantasy books that I've read last April, ang pinaka gusto ko, and this is like my most favorite fantasy books out, urban fantasy or fantasy genre. This is my most favorite out of all the fantasy books that I've read this year. House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. So before I start saying my thoughts about this book, I will just mention yung two books that I've read na fantasy din. And Imagine Me by Tahara Mafi. I love the series. And ang tagal ko din hinintay yung last book ng series, pero I was kind of disappointed. I mean, the scenes that happened, I guess that's expected, pero I felt like the story was rushed. I felt like the story parang sinulat na lang siya dahil para matapos. Yun yung na-feel ko na it was written because kailangan ma-end na. And I really felt like it was rushed. Pero at some point, parang iniisip ko din, it's kind of understandable yung mga scenes na nangyayari. Pero yun nga yung feeling ko, it was rushed and there was something missing, and it was written because the story had to end. So yun, I rated Imagine Me 3.9 out of 5, and I felt like buhay na lang nung book is Kenji. Si Kenji na lang yung nakapagbuhay ng book. Although I love Juliet and Warner, pero parang si Kenji na lang yung nakapagpabuhay ng book. So, Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So, I've also read this, and I will not deny the fact na nahirapan akong basahin ng librong to. I guess you know that feeling na binabasa ko yung first few chapters nito. Binabasa ko, paulit-ulit ko lang binabasa pero hindi ko naiintindihan, hindi ko nagigets. And finally, siguro mga at this part, medyo nagigets ko na. I don't know, hindi ko lang kung bakit. Maybe it's just me. I don't know for you guys kung mangyari ba yun sa inyo nung pinabasa nyo tong Ninth House. Pero, nahirapan ako intindihin yung book. Hindi ko talaga alam kung bakit. Pero it's a new kind of fantasy, dark fantasy. Ang ganda niya. Maganda yung storyline. The storyline is new for me. And I can't wait for the second book. And yung last few chapters kasi nito, nakikinig ako sa audiobook. And while listening to the audiobook, I was cleaning. And at that part where parang may nangyayari ng super interesting na you can't wait to find out what happens next, bigla na naputol. So I was like, wait, end na yun? Yun na yung end. Yun na, so cliffhanger talaga siya. So yun for the Ninth House. And for the Ninth House, I rated it 4.1 out of 5. Yep. So, I guess, hindi ko alam kung series to or trilogy, pero feeling ko mas magugustuhan ko yung second book niya kasi medyo, syempre, it's a first book, pero mga kulang-kulang pa and everything, and the story is just starting, so medyo there's still missing pieces and confused ka pa about sa mga nangyayari. So, yun. Now, for this last book that I'll be telling you my thoughts about, Sarah J. Maas, House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City. This is like my most favorite fantasy reads, urban fantasy reads, or fantasy reads this year. Ito yung pinaka-favorite ko sa lahat na nabasa kong fantasy books this year. I cannot tell you how much I love this book. Just when you got it figured out, it surprises you. Akala mo yun na yun, pero meron pa pala. And then, akala mo ulit yun na yun, then meron pa ulit isa. So, it's a great book. It's a great book and I rated this 5 out of 5. Kung pwede lang 10 out of 5, I would rate it. And out of all the books of Sarah J. Maas, out of all the first books in her every trilogy or series, like Throne of Glass, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and then this first book, House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City. Ito yung pinaka-favorite ko. I would choose this, like, normally kasi it's hard for me to like super love the book kapag first book siya since it's still starting, and normally ang nagiging favorite ko sa trilogy is yung second book or third book. And for a first book, this is just, I'm speechless. I just super love this book. And I'm going to be honest na at first I was second guessing this book kasi nga this is super hype and madaming nag-rate dito na 5 out of 5. And for the first few pages, I was like, what's special about this book? Bakit siya super hype? Bakit 5 out of 5 ang ratings nila? So far, wala pa ako nakikitang 5 na dapat i-rate dito sa book na to. That's my like first few thoughts about the first few chapters of this book. Pero for those future readers of this book, I will say na don't give up on it. Kasi meron ibang, it's understandable na minsan sa first few chapters is medyo slow pa, wala pa nangyayari. Pero I'm not sure. May notes ako dito na, wait lang, na something exciting, not exciting, or shocking will happen in chapter 5. May notes ko dito. Hindi ako normally nag-annotate, pero nag-annotate ako sa book na to. So, sa chapter 5, may mangyayaring something shocking. So, wait lang kayo until chapter 5. And then, mawawala ulit siya. And, babalik siya. Wait lang, guys. Tinitingnan ko kasi. Chapter 10. So, wait lang kayo sa chapter 5 and chapter 10. Doon na yung chapter 5 where something will happen and then mawawala. Kasi mag-skip siya like after 2 years. And then, something will happen again. So, chapter 5 and chapter 10, keep that in mind para sa future readers, and baka kasi mag-give up kayo sa book na to. Pero, I'd say na don't give up on it. While reading this, munti ka na din ako mag-give up. Kasi nga, it was kind of slow, and yun nga, yung first thoughts ko para sa first few pages. Pero I tell you, it is worth the wait. And, parang, sabi ko nung una, ang haba naman ito for a first book, 797 pages, almost 800 pages. Hindi mo pa sinaktong 800 pages sa RJ Maas. Parang kulang pa yung 800 pages. It's just, guys, just read it. Read it and promise, you will enjoy it, and the book is worth it. It's worth the wait and everything. I want to read it again, and siguro magre-read ako this month. Pero yes, I just love Sarah J. Maas's books, and I can't wait to reread it. It's one of my favorite books na added to one of my favorite books. So that's it, guys. That's the books that I read. So I forgot pala to add this, pero since this is reread for me, tatlo pang nabasa ko, reread. The selection series, I reread this last April. And also, the Fog of the Air series, The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, Queen of Nothing. So, hindi ko sila in-add sa mga favorites ko, although favorite ko. Kasi nga, I told you, hindi ko i-add yung mga nabasa ko ng books. Yun lang mga bago kong nabasa. So, for last April, my favorite is Crescent City for fantasy, Starry Eyes, I See London, I See Friends, Love and Other Words, I Let You Go, The Hand on the Wall, and so yun. And ito, yun, I still enjoyed this series and also the Fog of the Air series. So hindi ko na masyadong i-elaborate. Basta I love both of the series, the selection series and the Fog of the Air series. So that's it, guys. That's my favorite books last April, and I hope all of the books that I've read last April I enjoyed. Wala akong like hindi na enjoy. Well, except for siguro ang pinaka lowest is lowest is Imagine Me. Oh, sorry, Taheranafi. I love all of your books, but it's just I don't know what happened. Pero pinakamababa sa lahat ng nabasa ko last April is Imagine Me, and Jennifer Armentrout's If There's No Tomorrow, just because parang meron ako nabasang similar story like this one's in Wattpad, so parang I'm just reliving the book that I read before. And I know hindi ito yung nabasa ko before, pero similar story. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's the books that I've read. Let me know if you've read these books too. Let me know your thoughts about these books, if you love them or if you hate them or if you dislike these books. And so thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe down below and click the bell button so you'll get notified when I upload my next video. Thank you guys again for watching, and just keep on reading. Happy reading. Stay kind, stay positive, keep smiling. Bye. God bless everyone. Take care.